Hey everyone, it's Craftman here, and I am so excited for this weekend. Can you believe it's nearly here? Just a few days away from the first ever Allied Forces International Rocket League tournament. I think these players are most excited about, at least from my perspective, is that they're fighting for the pride of their home nations. Britain and America have always had a budding rivalry. America was part of the British Empire, and then they decided they didn't want to be, and so they tossed all that tea into the harbour. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't know my history all that well. But ever since then, you know, the two sides have always tried to outdo each other and be better than one another, whether that's churn out great musicians like Beatles, the Rolling Stones on one side, and the other you got people like Taylor Swift, I guess. She's popular. Each side has their greats in sport, of course. Brady, Beckham, Kobe, Kane, Garrett G, and Marky Doodah. So sorry, I couldn't get a one better than Marky Doodah for maybe Devo, I guess. Scrub killer these days as well. But I would say that Britain and I suppose Europe as a whole have had the upper hand on America and North America more so in the years past in Rocket League. That's not to say that these two teams from the Department of the Air Force have no chance at all of beating Blighty's best. Absolutely far from it. I reckon every team that we have this weekend have every shot at winning this whole thing and claiming the glory for their homeland.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jar of Jam and I'm here with an Allied Forces Esports Invitational information video. You might be asking, which one of the 5 teams should I be cheering for? Well, do I have a primer for you? Strap in. First we start with the British Army. That could really be unfair for the competition. Who else can just park their tanks in front of their net and make an impenetrable wall? No goals are coming through, nobody's brave enough to even be in vicinity. I'd say that's easy wins. Then of course, the Royal Navy. I'd say they have the intrinsic advantage on 2 stadiums, the underwater Aquadome and the sunny, salty shores. Deploy the submarines, launch the ships, rule Britannia, rule the waves. Sorry, got carried away. The Royal Air Force. No, now we're cooking with gas. These folks would drop James Bond and or Her Majesty the Queen over an Olympic stadium. I'm sure they would drop some goals on their opponents. Aces of the Sky, rule Britannia. United States Department of the Air Force. No, there's no contest. What's the integral part of Rocket League gameplay, you might ask? Aerials. Who does aerials the best out of all branches of the military? The Air Force. You might ask, but what about the Royal Air Force? To which I say, but US has UFOs. And what does UFO stand for? Unlimited Flip Reset, obviously. I think I've made my point. Case closed, class dismissed. Thank you very much.
So Craftman has talked about pride, and Jam has talked about the machinery available to each of these teams, but quite frankly, when it comes to Rocket League, I prefer sticking to the facts. And usually the facts mean taking a look at the ranks. Now look, I'm not saying that ranks mean everything. We have some fantastic teams who, let's be honest, may not have the most mechanically gifted players, but can still play really well because they synergize successfully. However, if we are to take a look at the individual players taking part in this first ever Allied Forces International Rocket League tournament, well, one name stands out, and that's Low Tech. As it stands, the single Supersonic Legend, that's the highest rank in Rocket League that you can achieve, by the way, in the entirety of the tournament that we know of. His 2 teammates, you got Tut and H3, both GC3s, but have both touched SSL previously. So really, DAF Alpha, they're the team that you should probably be looking out for if you were to ask me personally. That said, yeah, hear me out. I'm British, right? I gotta rep my boys of His Majesty, the Royal Navy, the British Army. The thing is that we have not, up until now at least, got any idea what their ranks are like. So for all we know, they could be cracked. They could be incredible. They could be the best team here. I guess the only way that you're going to find out is by tuning in this weekend. See you then.